he will be presenting his report. Mr. Romeva, you have 4 minutes. And 2 minutes at the end of the debate. If you overrun your 4 minutes, I'll deduct that from your answering time. I'll give the floor to you, Mr. Romeva Reda.
Thank you very much, President. This is a good juncture to address this issue. Allow me to begin with a very simple question, which I think identifies the issue very well. If it hadn't been Lehman Brothers, but Lehman Sisters, would we be here talking about this? We don't know, because it was Lehman Brothers, but we do know that things would have been very different vis-à-vis the credit, finance and economic crisis. There's a very clear consensus among economists, be they feminists or not, to the effect that the current crises were brought about by a series of institutions that were essentially run by men. That's an objective fact. Males were responsible for this situation. If they'd been mostly women instead of mostly men, we can't say that the situation wouldn't have taken place, but we can say that it would have been different in its cause and management and in the current recovery phase from the crisis. And I think it's also important to point attention to another fact. The companies that have more women on their management board have suffered from this kind of situation far less than those that where most of the board is men. So we need to stop and think whether this crisis may not, as well as a problem, a very serious one, be an opportunity to tackle some of the causes and some of our erroneous attitudes in the past. And the lack of equality in many policies is one such problem. So I wish to state categorically what some of the shortcomings, some of the deficits are that aren't being addressed. For example, a gender perspective has never been applied to the post-Lisbon strategy, the 2020 strategy. To date, at least, there's been no intention for us to set out macroeconomic and employment policies which clearly have a mainlined gender aspect with clear commitments. And my report intends at least to open up this debate and put some of the important issues on the table. We know some member states, some governments, I would point to Spain in particular, which have led this debate and raised certain issues. And I wish not just to recognise that, but also to support upcoming presidencies which may wish to address similar issues about the gender perspective. But I think there's something else that should be underlined as well. If we truly want to rectify some of these mistakes of the past, we need to understand that the causes of the crisis include certain key points, and the first one is the lack of a will to have equality, gender equality. That's the first point. And secondly, imagination will be required. Thirdly, specific measures are needed. That's what my report says. And please allow me to add that they should be binding. They should be binding measures. We've had enough of empty words. We need binding commitments. For example, one to the effect that full employment is our goal for men and for women, but particularly for women. Another specific goal would be to suggest that there should be 75% employment for women by 2020. Or what about reducing the wage differential to a maximum of 5%? Some of those should be obligatory goals. We do know that Commissioner Reding and the Spanish presidency have raised these issues many times, and we'd like to urge not just other groups but other countries to take on board that this is not a frivolous matter. This is something that we have to face and react to. And I'd like to wind up by paying tribute to the support and the input from other groups with a view to this being a text based on consensus and compromise, so that it points not just to what the problems are, but what the solutions should be too. Thank you.
Thank you, Raul. Now also give the floor to Mrs. Figueiredo for 4 minutes. She's going to be presenting her own report. Thank you very much, Mr. President, Madam Commissioner. The report I'm presenting is the fruit of collective work